Good morning, traders. This is Chris from Elite Currency with a new update on the euro dollar and pound dollar. But before we look at the markets, be aware our free indicators are still here. Check out this page and you can download all of these for free. Some of them are premium and paid, but most, or a lot of them at least, are for free as well. So check that out with also free versions of Wiz and Camarilla. All right, the euro dollar drama continues because price, although it broke to the downside here on the daily chart, below the 20 EMA, and it did continue lower to 111, did actually bounce at 111, did create a potential double bottom, and look at that strong daily candle bounce with a wick at the bottom and a close near the high, and the day after a follow through as expected because obviously there was a strong bullish engulfing candlestick pattern. And such a candlestick pattern confirms or at least makes a double bottom reversal pattern more likely as well. So very dramatic here because euro dollar did look like a good breakout to the downside here, but I did warn for 111 that needs to be broken before we can think about further targets, and that did not happen actually. What a drama! But if you look at the monthly chart, then we're not so surprised in a way because this is still a falling wedge, and price has not broken below the bottom of this falling wedge. And every time price moves up a little bit, it moves down a little bit, up a little bit, down a little bit. So it's really slow and corrective and choppy. And it is building a kind of falling wedge pattern, and this is still intact and still hasn't changed and still valid unless price breaks through the bottom clearly with a weekly candle close or daily candle close below 111. Or if it does break to the upside, now it would need to break probably roughly around this 112.60 area, right? We got a lot of candle highs here. First of all, 4 of them. And we have that resistance trend line, of course, of that falling wedge. So let's see when finally this falling wedge is going to be broken and in which direction, okay? 111 and 112.60 for the moment are the key levels on this weekly chart. And that's what we're waiting for a daily candle or a weekly candle to break out and above or below. All right, so for the moment, this falling wedge continuing, and you can see that every time, as I mentioned, these breaks don't go too far. This one didn't go too far either. So yet again, if price does manage to push above the 21 EMA with a candle close, here we didn't have that, right? Here we had failures to break above it. Here too, by the way, 3 times. But if we do, here we had a candle close and we still didn't get all too far. Here we had a small push up. The target is the 144 EMA. So there's not a lot of space. Then it depends if we get this breakout, it depends how price holds here, right? Because if we get a candle close above it, if we get a candle close on the weekly chart above it, then a correction and continuation is likely. However, if price moves up like this and then closes and reverses and is back below 112.60, well, of course, then a bigger ABC correction is finished and price might then continue lower again after some flag, for instance, on the 4-hour chart. All right, so it'll be very interesting to see if price breaks here and how price responds to this 113 resistance, 112.60 and 113.25 resistance zone. Right, that's very important. Strong downside or a flag, that will say a lot. Now, will price break through that zone? That's another question because there's a lot of ifs here and a lot of doubtful situations at the moment. What we really want to see is a candle close on the weekly chart, preferably above or below. But on the daily chart, we might see that breakout to that 113.25 zone. On the 4-hour chart, momentum is pretty strong as well. And to me, it does look like an upside is becoming more likely. And it does look like this could be a wave C. Maybe this was wave A. This was an ABC, for instance, like this. For a wave B, and up we go for a wave C. So for me, some upside is likely. Let's zoom into the 1-hour chart. And let's take a look at this chart here. I think that what we would like to see is some kind of bull flag, for instance, go back into this zone here maybe. Let's put a fib from here to here like this. And I think there's a fair chance if price gets down to these fibs that could be a bouncing spot for upside. All right, so if price makes a correction like that, maybe even to the 61.8 fib, some type of head and shoulders pattern, for instance, I think there's a fair chance that price could retest, at the very least, this 112.50 resistance zone for the moment. That, to me, seems the most likely. Unless price really shows a lot of momentum, then, of course, that would change things and more downside could be possible. But really, for downside, I would like to see below a break below 111. All right? So that was quite a long story on the euro dollar, although it was not that interesting. The pound dollar or it's dramatic, but not interesting to trade, I should say. The pound dollar is looking a lot better and a lot more interesting to me. The pound dollar is, I think, obviously a very strong downtrend. We have moving averages aligned. Not only that, we have a lot of space between the 21 EMA and the 144 EMA, a ton of space. So a lot of momentum in this pound dollar, and it looks like a strong wave 3, right, at this moment. So what we're looking for is some type of wave 4 at the moment. And on the 4-hour chart, I think we're already seeing that happen, right? We said that 126.50 is the target zone, both in this video and in our ECS Live videos as well. And I think that that's proven to be correct indeed. You can see that price is responding to this zone and is making a potential correction to the upside here. So this pullback could be a wave 4. So let's put a fib on the potential wave 3. That could be from here to here, for instance. And we saw the price hit the 23.6 fib recently. But I think that typically we could expect price to go up to the 38 fib, for instance, at 127.74. Let's see if there are other fibs maybe that are useful to consider. Probably this seems like the most likely fib to me for the moment. And I think that we can use this one. So let's take a look at the 1-hour chart. All right, so yes, we already had a couple of ABCs to the upside already. And you can see that price is, I think, going to continue for one more leg up. I think that there's a fair chance that this was an ABC for W, that this was a correction for X, and that this could be an ABC for Y. So we'd be looking for some small pullback here, maybe into the 21 EMA, maybe into these tops right here around 126.80 for a bounce up to 127.70. And then that area, that 38.2 fib, could be a bouncing spot for downside again and a reversal back into the original uptrend. So let's put a fib from here to here. Here you can see minus 61.8 target hit. All right, we had a 61.8 fib bounce right here. So yeah, the fib target's also lining up nicely with that 38.2 fib as well. So there's confluence in that zone. Now, if price, for whatever reason, breaks through rather than bounces, so let's say price retests the 126.75 area, but instead of bouncing, it makes a head and shoulders, for instance, like this, and then starts to break the support trend line. Of course, in that case, we got to consider the fact that the wave 4 might be finished here, and we are already starting the wave 5 of a bigger wave 3 probably. Okay, in that case, we are looking for continuation lower than. In that case, this was all the correction that we saw. And if we get a fractal right here, for instance, and we see price going sideways in this 21 EMA, and then we see a candle close below the 21 EMA, well, in that case, this correction is probably finished. What we're looking at is a wave 1, 2, probably some wave 3 here. Maybe this was on a lower degree, a wave 3, 4, 5, and we're looking for the wave 5 of a 3, of a bigger wave 3. All right. So I think that basically what I want to say is that if we get a new low, I still expect one more wave 4 and still expect one more lower low for another wave 5. All right. So at least 2 more waves 5 in my view. And there could be internal waves 5s and external waves, basically 5-wave patterns within these wave 5s. So there could be quite some downside on the pound dollar if we get the momentum follow up as I expect. All right, so if price goes sideways in this 21 EMA, then like this, and then we have a breakout candle below the 21 EMA, I'm looking for downside continuation on this pound dollar. All right, traders, hope that helped. In any case, thanks for watching. See you in the next video and wish you all good trading. Don't forget those indicators and see you soon. Cheers.